Hello, this is a presentation of my MDA Postflop pop-up analysis based on a 4.58 million hand histories player pool database. And this here is a button against big blind pop-up analysis for cache game purposes and cache game stack sizes. As you can see, it's filtered for 100 to 120 and so on. But before we gonna look how I constructed it, I enabled to see a sample on the stats behind the main or the big numbers here. For example, let's look on the 53 here. Right next to the 53, there's a 668 in blue color. This stands for the sample size of the stat. Once a stat reached 1000 stats sample and higher, the sample size gets transparent, so like this here. So you don't see a sample size because you know it's exceeding already a set sample number. But this is not a part of the pop-up, this is part of Hand2Note itself. You can set it how you like to. This is just for demonstration reasons here, to better estimate for you guys that or how much sample you need in order to have a good population analysis. Because as you can see, with a almost 5 million hand history database, you see some lines untaken here. For example, this one here, or this one here, this one here, or some spots where the sample size only is 1, like this here, so only one time. Please keep this in mind before purchasing it. When you want to have a trial, I offer a trial, but I don't offer refunds after you have purchased. So sorry for the inconvenience about this, because I don't want to let the user only run the report and then give the product back. So I will make sure that you can test it. I will provide anonymous hand histories, and you can decide if it's something for you or not. Alright, now let's move on to the content of the MDA pop-up for Postflop. It contains of 6 main tabs / pop-ups, which is constructed or split in flop, turn and river. And each tab here consists of board cards and board categories, like here and here. This is the first pop-up here, which is for the board cards on the flops, and here you can see which lines the player is taking pre-flop once he was the Openraise pre-flop. You can see what is his main betting frequency in total with the total red highlight background. You can analyze particular board categories and board cards, like ace high boards, king high boards, queen high boards, jack high boards, 10 high boards, 9 high boards, 8 high boards, low boards, which are 7 to deuce. And you can dive a bit deeper in it, so you can see how often a player is c-betting on an Ace Broadway board, Ace Broadway 9 board, Ace Broadway 8 board, Ace Broadway low board, Ace 9-8 board, Ace 9 low board, Ace 8 low board, Ace low boards. And the same applies for the other high boards. I guess you understand what I mean. And you can compare or see the lines with the frequencies for bet. So this is c-bet, c-bet turn, c-bet river, bet check, bet check, bet check, and check, 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 bet, check, bet, check. How the villain is, or the preflop aggressor is playing against pro bets. So when the preflop aggressor misses in position to c-bet, and the defender, for example the big blind, is pro betting against this c-bet. So you can see how often the player is checking the flop, calling the turn, betting the river. How often he's checking the flop, calling the turn and raising the river. How often he's checking the flop, raising the turn and betting the river. Then we have a look on the second flop tab, which is for the board categories summarized. Here we have summarize for all paired boards, 3-card boards. This means for example those boards here. 1 second. Ace, 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 where he just flopped quads. Okay. We have something for monotone boards, so where the flop is only containing of one suit, like club, 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 or heart, 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 or spade, spade, spade. On two-tone boards, where the flop allows a flush draw on boards, so 2 cards of the same split. And the rainbow board, where there are no flush draw possible. 1 Broadway board, so from a king to the 10. 2 Broadway boards and 3 Broadway boards. Now let's move on to the turn, where we have the same columns here, but different turn cards. So you can see how the player is responding on the turn once he has done a c-bet or checked the flop. And this is for ace turns, king turns, queen turns, jack turns, 10 turns, 9 turns, 8 turns, low board turns. The same applies for board categories, so you can analyze how villain is responding when a turn is an overcard, when it's pairing the turn, when it's a 3-card flush, a 4-card flush, or a rainbow turn, a 4-card straight, or a 4-card straight with 1 gap. And now we have a look on the river. It's pretty similar like the turn before, but the board categories on the river are much more like the turn. So you can see villain total bet lines and check lines for overcards of the river, low boards in general. So if the complete board is maximum to a 7 high board, when The next line shows only boards for 8 to 9 high boards, then 10 to jack high boards, queen to king high boards, ace high board, one Broadway low and turn river boards, two Broadway boards, low turn and river, yada yada yada. Then we have a line for low two-tone connected flush non-flush completers. This is a bit of a strong abbreviation, sorry guys. Then we have a non-flush complete river, a 3-chord flush, a 4-chord flush, a 5-chord flush, a 4-chord straight with one gap, 5-chord flushes and paired boards, 3-chord boards, and even 4-chord boards. Yeah, some lines here might be pretty much neglectable, but as you can see, almost a 5 million hand history sample size and no 4-chord board here. But yeah, why not having this option here if the sample might be higher in the future. Yeah, one or two things more. Those main 6 pop-ups are available to several stack sizes. For example, for the cache stack sizes here, which show the 6 pop-ups for 100 to 120 big blind stack sizes. The next one is showing for 120 to 150 big blind stack sizes, 150 to 175, 175 to 200, and 200 and higher. So you can compare several strategies based on the stack sizes. You might think of this as really nutted, and ultimately one nutted feature to end here. You might think this is overwhelming data. Each pop-up or the total 6 pop-ups here contain of total 1000 or about 1500 stats. So this multiplied by 5 stack sizes, we have 7500 stack sizes to use here. Or sorry, statistics. But if you are owner of a Hand2Note subscription plan, so in other words, you have paid for Hand2Note, you can use board groups, Postflop, diagrams, boards, and bed sizes. So this allows you that you can dive way deeper in the whole frequencies here. So we, depending on your Hand2Note settings, either you have to click or hover on a statistic, and then it's popping up a pop-up like this here. You can see the total stat of 68, which is here, 68. And then you can see extensions of the stats. So you can see the whole board composition for the post-flop diagram here. You can see how often this 68% seabed is containing trash, like this here. You can see how often this is a draw. Or a gut shot. An open-ended straight draw. Or some other filterings. And furthermore, you can use this tab here if you like to. and you can use those bed sizings here. So how we can use this data here, or see what is the most frequent bed size used here. We simply have an overview. What is the biggest number here? It's the 40 to 2/3 pod size beds. So 36% here. And then if you are interested in how the player is responding, later on you can see fold, calls and raises and bed checks line or comparisons with the sample size behind it, and some more data. Alright, thanks for watching, guys.